So, when last we left our intrepid adventurers,
They had a box.
they had the box, and they'd found a semi-secure hideaway place in the utility tunnels under the city, the mobile dwarven city. What was the name again? I keep forgetting. It's
Kalinar?
No, the city.
Oh, Isibril.
Isibril. Yeah. And we started debating what we should do next.
Did you call Kylanar?
And yes, we wound up calling Kalinar. There was a whole bunch of debate about what to do. And then finally, Cricket, as party leader, called for a vote. And it was pretty clear that contacting Kalinar was the thing to do.
The only other real option was sleeping the night, and that would save them 25 gold
Yeah,
on the
and
sending. So.
Hank had run out of dailies and action points, but the rest of us were pretty good. Anyway, so Cricket contacts Kalinar, with the sending. Limited to 25 words, so I couldn't put a whole lot into it, but I basically told Kalinar, Drow had the box after all. We have it now. All the Drow are dead except one, and we're in the mobile city. I think that was all I managed. Well, that's actually quite a lot, but I put that into this thing. Except
You have box.
have box, Drow dead, in the city, mobile city. Instructions, please.
Aren't you supposed to deliver it somewhere originally?
Originally, yeah, but things got really screwed up. There was someone waiting there who faked it.
Yeah, Kalinar had hired them. It contained like a diplomatic package, and they had hired them to deliver it to Greybridge, and they accidentally delivered it to the wrong guy because a guy had like gone there ahead of time and posed as the drop-off guy and ran off. And then a few days later, Kalinar was like, "Okay, my guy's in position now. You can go there."
Kalinar hadn't expected us to get horses.
Yeah,
That was what threw everything out.
yeah. And so ever since they've been looking for this box, and when it was first lost, Kalinar freaked because he complained that they sucked and said, "I'll pay you 1,000,000 gold to get this box back. It's critical to world peace. You have to get it back."
Yeah.
And
I don't think anyone really believes he's going to pay us 1,000,000 gold.
So, and they've been trying to get it ever since.
Yeah.
So they send Kalinar, and he sends back. He's very excited. That's awesome. Whatever you do, don't open it, and don't tell anyone. Or
Don't tell
your enemies. Your enemies can read minds. Don't tell anyone anything that I tell you, and then they have to wait for 10 minutes because that's all he can say in one sending.
Yeah.
It takes 10 minutes to cast another one.
So he
he said continue. So I knew he was going to send them
so-
again. The things he said during the sendings were, don't open the box. As soon as you open the box is shielded with anti-divination. As soon as you open the box, everyone will know where you are and kill you. Second, you have to get the box to Allenway, but don't tell anyone that that's where you're going, or that you want that this has anything to do with the box. Make them think that you want to go there, and also. Your enemies have a major presence in Allenway, so be super careful.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you what's in the box because it's not wise to give out that information when there's mind readers around.
So at this point, Cricket had to remind Kalinar that she doesn't want to do things, and that he can't give her orders because he doesn't own her.
To which
She's owned by Serendipity, Van Goldstrad, and continued, because it's a 25-word limit. I wound up saying her name like 4 times over the course of this. It's 19 words long.
Yeah, he ended up spending like 200 gold on sendings because he had to send back, and he was annoyed. It was like, it doesn't matter, just pretend you want to go there.
And she kept explaining no, because she only follows Serendipity, Van Goldstrider, or Slayer. Continued.
So finally, he sending Serendipity and says, "Look, your enemies can read minds. I don't want to tell anyone more than I need to about the box. Can you please order Cricket to listen to me and do what I say?" So she thinks about it, and she does.
Yes. So now, Cricket is under orders from her owners to keep secrets from her owners.
Sounds like Hal.
Yeah, she's turning into Anthedon again.
And to pretend to want to go to Allenway.
Yeah. Only, of course, Serendipity, Van Gogh, Morse, Chocolate Towers doesn't know about the Allenway thing. She doesn't know any of these details. Only Cricket does.
And Kalinar does say, you know, it's come to his attention that what's in the box might be more advanced than he first thought.
So maybe he wasn't a complete idiot hiring 500 gold piece adventurers. Maybe he was just ignorant.
So, yeah, that's the state of things. Cricket knows a bunch of stuff that no one else knows. And he's going to set up a contact in Allenway to deliver the box to. And he said, don't deliver it until you send me first, because there's a big presence of your enemies in Allenway.
We don't even know who our enemies are. But anyway, yeah, Cricket doesn't actually know a huge amount more. Everyone else thinks she knows a whole lot more, but really all she knows is we got to go to Allenway. And she's got to keep that secret.
Don't open the box and why.
She's got to try and nudge them to go to Allenway. So she has no idea how she's going to nudge them to go to Allenway, given that everyone knows the moment she does anything remotely like nudging someone, that's not Cricket. That's clearly she's been ordered to do that. So for now, she's just settled on we got to get out of the mobile city, because that seems like a perfectly reasonable thing to do. Of course, if one was wanting to take advantage of the situation, one could guide the party any which way one wanted by saying, oh, this is what Kalinar wants us to do.
It's what Kalinar would have wanted.
But, of course, this is the exact opposite of what Cricket wants.
Yes.
So
the GM might have had some maniacal laughter during this time.
Yeah, he's set up Cricket for another mental breakdown. She's going to dig in her hooves and work real hard not to, however. So,
Was Allenway the...
Yes, that's
Wrecked
the one.
city?
That's the
Allenway's
one.
a city that's been
We're
wrecked
taking
many
this
times.
artifact
Yes.
to Allenway.
Yes.
It's doomed. Even if the artifact doesn't do anything, it's going to be like one of those Vash the Stampede situations
Yeah, it
where
is.
No matter where he goes.
Yeah. The humanoid typhoon.
So anyway, so step one of the plan, get out of this city. That's a great step one of any plan. So we do some dungeoneering checks and some knowledge checks to try to figure out where the heck are we, because we just found a random place to hide. And we make a couple of really good rolls, and we discover some old Ood signage that indicates we're only 1,500 meters from the aft of the city, which is great, because if you want to jump off a moving city somewhere, you want to do it at the back.
Yeah.
So we go down the corridors.
You want to jump out the aft hole.
Exactly. We go down the corridors, and we find ourselves on this little balcony type thing, narrow catwalk, on the back edge of the city. How high up were we? It was like 38 squares or something like that?
I think it ended up being 38 squares off the ground, yeah.
Yeah, about that.
That's quite high.
Not 38 squares. It was enough that if you fell, you were basically dead.
Yeah.
You'd have to roll all ones on the damage die.
There was various levels with different platforms jutting out, and then at the very bottom there's the tank treads that are just slowly ticking, actually just ticking forward.
So it wasn't easy. You'd have to really jump far out to fall all the way to the ground. But still, there was lots of opportunities there for certainly fatal falls. So we start thinking about how we're going to get down from here, and we realize we have enough rope, just enough rope, to get all the way to the ground. We have 250 feet of rope. Is it 38 squares? I don't know, whatever. It's a long way. We have just enough rope to do that. So we start tying the ropes together to make ourselves a thing to get us all the way down. And then just as we're finishing up, I think we still had like 2 ropes to tie together, tie onto this thing. Roll for initiative. Those assassin bone eater gnome guys.
The gnomes dressed in black.
Yeah.
And instead of not exposing anything, they just expose their face and their like gross, blackened mouth and like rotting teeth. Good serendipity. Took one look. It's like they're not gnomes.
Yeah.
No gnome would do that.
Yeah. So they jump out of our shadows and attack us. Serendipity Van Goldstein and Moore, Slayer of the Butcher of Brackenridge Toppler Towers, had a readied action to set off a fireball on any attackers that showed up. She wasn't expecting them to show up at point-blank range. But fortunately, they were in a position where she was able to set off her fireball without hitting the rest of the party.
Well, I guess just the first one appeared, and he was on one side of the party, so she just fireballed that edges and stuff. And
so, combat ensues. And we decide, well,
for the
first
three of
round
them
or
jump
so.
out of their shadows.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of these guys.
And one of them shouts, "Now!" as they're doing it.
Yeah. So...
And they stabinate the party a bit.
Yeah, and we start stabinating him back. And it's pretty awesome because a lot of our party have the ability to slide and push guys around. I'm right by this insta-kill drop. So we start shoving him over the edge. It's not automatic. I mean, there's a lot of 2-hit rolls and saving throws and stuff like that, but one by one, we're getting him over the edge. Problem is, in the next round, everyone else shows up to the party, as is typical in this dratted city.
Look, all the other factions are here.
The gnomes that were like, the cyber dwarves, they run out on this platform that's like 10 squares below us, or somewhere, not 10 squares, a little higher than that.
It was actually 10 squares.
10 squares?
Yep.
Okay. It was about 10 squares below us. They run out.
feet.
I've been using meters, so 10 meters.
And they start firing spells up at us. Those gnomes, the other ones, run out on a separate platform, same level but adjacent to them. They start firing up at us. I'm sure any second now they'll start firing at each other too, but right now they're all firing at us.
And that city guard captain guy who showed up when the tower first crashed also runs out and starts shooting a bow.
Yeah, he's with the gnomes. Apparently they formed an alliance or something, or they just, I don't know.
It was kind of disturbing to the party because it seemed like they were all working together. Instead of killing each other, they were all killing them.
And then we heard heavy armor tromping in the corridors we'd come out of. So there was no way back in there. There was reinforcements coming. So we figure we've tied together enough of the ropes that we can get down to the actual treads, I think it was. Yeah. We can get down to the treads.
Oh, then you can ride the treads down.
As long as they don't cut your
Yeah, we'll just ride the treads until they roll over. No, they're only moving. They're not moving here.
We figure they're moving at about 1 square around, and that's actually a high estimate because we figure this thing travels about 1 kilometer a day. It can do about 1 kilometer an hour when it's like
Pedal to the
engines
metal
blaring,
and
things
it's like,
exploding.
flutter apart then. Yeah. Bits peeling off from the wind. Anyway.
We calculated that that's about 1 square around-ish because we're doing cinematic time, so it's all weird anyway.
But 1 square round is a good thing to use. It's simple and straightforward. Anyway, so we lower the rope, and we figure we're just going to go down. There's still one of those bone eater assassin guys that we haven't pushed over the edge yet. So we're a little concerned about him like cutting the rope. So we lower the rope, and Hank and Serendipity Van Goldstein and Morris, Slayer of the Butcher of Brackenridge Toppler Towers, we're going to be the ones that stay at the top to keep them from cutting the rope because Hank has a hook shot and can carry Serendipity Van Goldstein and Morris, Slayer of the Butcher of Brackenridge Toppler Towers. So they can make their own way down if need be. Oh yes, I almost forgot. This is important later. We divvied up the loot that we'd gotten from the guy that Hank killed, the cyber dwarf. And amongst the loot...
And also when he grabbed that guy's whole table of stuff he was selling, which is most of his stuff, but there was a few other items in there too.
Yeah. So we got a couple of items, but the one of significance is we got an immovable rod. Ooh. One of those things, you just put it in midair, click a button, and it stays there.
It's like putting that in front of the city.
I don't think we can.
Oh my gosh!
I don't think we can trip the city. It's not gonna. It's not gonna.
You'd punch a hole through the whole thing.
No, actually, you can move an immovable rod with a 25 strength check, so it would probably not really be noticeable.
We used it to smash some doors at one point in Brian's campaign.
Yeah. So,
tie the rope to that.
So Croesus and Cricket
Actually, wouldn't be ideal because
and
it
Aurora.
would be moving away from the city at one square around, and then you'd be hanging from this rope in midair, and they can only get down to the treads, and the treads are still the treads are 15 meters off the ground too.
Okay.
So that's 15d6 of 16d10 of falling damage just to fall off the treads.
It's per 2 squares.
Yeah, so half of that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I wasn't doing it that way the whole. session.
So, Cricket, Croesus, and Aurora. Atar is here too.
Who's Atar again?
Atar is Croesus.
Oh, right.
Remember, he's got that ability that duplicates himself.
Yes.
So, yeah. Atar stays up to help defend the rope as well. So Croesus and Aurora and Cricket go down the rope and just do the way that the numbers all work out for our different movement rates and our different distance from the rope and stuff. We wind up basically stacked on top of each other. 1, 2, 3.
I let them rappel down the rope with a high climb check because that makes sense. So they were able to move. If they rolled high enough, they can move at their full move speed, not half, because they're rappelling. And if they rolled really high, they could even run, which they did. Or Aurora did.
Aurora managed to run.
Essentially.
So we wound up on the level below the cyber dwarves. There's still some like catwalks and stuff down there. So we're not quite to the treads yet. And then Hank grabbed Serendipity, Van Goldstar Morris, there, which are Raccoon's top of the towers, and was going to hookshot down. And Croesus put the immovable rod out and set that up there. And Hank managed to hookshot onto that. So he's down there as well. So the whole party.
Because originally his plan was drop off and try to shoot it. I'm like, that's going to be hard to like aim that at like a specific point as you're falling.
Yeah.
And so I gave him some DCs and he's like, no, I'm not going to try that.
Yeah. So he's got down there, leaving only Atar behind, and Atar mysteriously vanishes.
Yeah, this is the part that I don't understand. And I'm after the session, I was thinking we might want to on this because I thought that the plan was for Hank to guard the rope, but he went down at the end of the turn anyway.
Yeah.
So now there's an assassin with a knife standing at the top of the rope with nothing to stop him from cutting it.
Yeah.
On his turn. I think that was a miscommunication, misunderstanding.
It could well be. I think Hank was going to come down next round.
I think that was what was intended.
But we just sort of like, oh boy, he can come down now, and went with that.
Yeah, I think I'll have to discuss that because I think you're going to want to retcon that because there's absolutely nothing preventing that assassin from cutting the rope.
Dear Diary, Cricket says that it's time for us to leave the city. I have to admit I'm quite disappointed. I was really hoping to get to know some of these dwarves, and some of those other dwarves had interesting things inside them. Well, sort of embedded in them. Although Hank said that those ones aren't nice, but they can't all be terrible, and it would be really nice just to get to know them a little bit and explore the city and find out who lives here and see if they have animals, and I'd like to meet dwarven children. I'd really like to meet dwarven children. But Cricket said we have to go. She said dwarven children are evil and that I don't want to meet them, that dwarven children would bite me and scratch my eyes out, but I think she might have been exaggerating. Anyway, of course I'll do what Cricket thinks we should do because I know she's so much smarter than me. However, I'm hoping that maybe sometime I will be able to come back here. It's very interesting, this concept of a city that moves. I just wish it didn't crunch over so many other towns and villages and farms and trees and cute fluffy animals. Maybe I could make some suggestions to the town leaders. Or next time. Next time. I'm coming!
Okay, so Cricket is not supposed to tell us what we're supposed to do with the box. And I've told her, don't tell us. There's mind readers. At least until we're safe from mind readers. Some ritual or something. Or item. But Cricket is very meek. Humble. She listens to whatever anyone else says. So if she's being assertive and saying, oh, we should leave, of course it's because he said to do that. But I can't think about it because somebody's going to read my mind. How do I not think about this? Don't think about it. Don't think about it.
You know, I was starting to worry that things were going to be complicated, that it wouldn't be clear what it was that I needed to do. But I'm starting to think maybe this is all going to work out. I'm starting to sort it all out. Serendipity has ordered me to follow Kalinar Drago's orders, so I'll do that until she orders me not to, in which case I'll stop. She's ordered me to keep secrets from her, and I'll do that too, until she orders me to stop. I'm completely and totally trustworthy in these regards. I will do exactly as I'm told. I'll keep those secrets until I'm told not to. That's very straightforward. It is going to be tricky, however, because I have to try to nudge the party along to Allenway without seeming like I'm nudging the party along to Allenway. And since I normally don't nudge the party along to anything, this is going to be quite a challenge. But at least it's a clear challenge. I know what I need to do, just not how to do it. So I'll try to think of something. And for now, I will simply nudge the party off of this horrible, horrible, horrible mobile city with all these horrible dwarves. We're making good progress on that. We're halfway down, hanging from a rope. I think we're going to make it. And then I guess I'll just see what I can come up with from there on out.
All right, you guys, just stay there. Don't hurt my friends. Atar, buddy. Oh, it's been so long. It's good to see you again. Yeah. It's good to see you too. Except you're Atar. No, I think I'd know if I was a tar. I know you've been through a lot. You've obviously been hurt very badly, but it's important to remember you're a tar. And no, stay! Don't move. I'm watching you. Gnomes. Look. We can't both be a tar. Huh. You're right. But we can't both be Croesus either. Don't move!